Joe Biden's former press secretary is now releasing a book. She repeatedly lied about Biden's mental decline just last year. I know you guys remember when everybody wanted to run for the hills after Donald Trump absolutely washed Joe Biden in that debate. Then we had to get lied to as if we couldn't see that he wasn't all there. This is what aligning with a political party means in 2024, 2025. Saying what you're told and believing what you hear.
It would seem that people in this White House knew that President Biden was slipping, and it was hidden from the American people. So who ordered White House officials to cover up a declining president?
I know that that is a narrative that you love. And
No,
wait,
10 days.
hold on.
He did a press conference
Hold
at NATO.
Hold
I'm
on.
in it. There's all these things that I
Hold
need
on.
to finish. And then 10 days later, I'm dropping out.
Okay, okay, you're asking me like multiple questions here. Let me, wait.
We asked you
First
one
of all,
question.
there's been no cover-up. Want to be very clear about that. I know that's the narrative that you all want. Wait, no, you can't.
Well,
Okay.
I've been with President Biden for 5
Are
years.
you going to let me answer the question?
Would you at least admit that the debate was not just a bad night?
wait. Can I answer the question?
Yes.
All right. Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. To your first question, it is not a cover-up.
That was a cover up. And we could see it clear as day that Biden was mentally declining. She went and said, this is the narrative you love. Nobody loved that. Nobody wanted to know that the most powerful person in the United States could barely finish a sentence and function. I get it. You want to be seen as stable. You don't want to show any signs of weakness. But the people around you, Karen, she knows what's going on. And instead of being truthful, she's pushing out a lie like she's Judy from The Last Airbender. There's no war in Ba Sing Se. We can see it. We can see what's going on. How do you go from writing a book? How do you go from that to writing a book on misinformation? You're literally the pot calling the kettle black. You're part of the reason that the Democratic Party is where it is in terms of people trusting them. That didn't look good for the Democratic Party. Now the rest of us have to suffer. At the top of the year, we kept telling Trump supporters, MAGA supporters that got fired or deported after voting for Donald Trump that they fucked around and found out. But so did the Democrats. You don't think the Democrats fucked around and found out as well when they pushed Kamala Harris? They pushed Kamala Harris to the polls because Biden got washed. Now, the very same press secretary that helped push the idea that Biden wasn't mentally declining is profiting off the idea that we shouldn't just blindly follow a political party. That's exactly what you were doing. You were okay with it last year.
In an era of misinformation, disinformation, the regressiveness of social policy, what we're seeing currently right now, what I have decided to do, and I really have thought long and hard about this, is to follow my own compass. And that's what I've done. And that's what this book does. And here's the truth. And here's how I will lay it out to you. I think we need to stop thinking in boxes and think outside of our boxes and not be so partisan. This book, Independent, it's about looking outside of boxes, not just always being in a partisan stance. And how do we move forward together in a compassionate way, in a way that really, truly cares about people? October 21st.
How convenient is it that now that she doesn't work within the White House, she has to change her heart? Now she gets to make money off of her spending to the independent side. She served under 2 presidents. She had plenty of opportunity to say one side of the aisle isn't better than the other side. Because truthfully, both parties have excellent ideas and both parties have horrible ideas. I lean a little bit on the right on some things. I lean a little bit on the left in some other things. But that's what people with basic common sense do. They don't throw the baby out with the bathwater and say, oh, I'm on this side of the aisle, so everything you do over there is bad. They don't go along to get along just because it's convenient for their ideological party. People talk about Donald Trump, they talk about MAGA and say, oh, that's a cult. It may be. It very well may be. But it's not any more a cult than the Democratic Party. It's not any more occult than the Republican Party as a whole. But you see how when it's convenient to be in the middle, she's like, oh, we're more alike than we are different. This is the problem with politics. You really can't tell what's real because people will literally look you in your face and tell you that the sky isn't blue. And it's not just one side. Do you remember when the Signal group chat debacle happened? The Republicans were saying that there was no journalist added to the group chat. Then that journalist had to turn around and literally post screenshots so people knew that he wasn't lying. Where was the harm in just saying, hey, we kind of fucked that up, but we're going to be better tomorrow? Where's the harm in that? Jay-Z had this line. He says, nobody wins when the family feuds. And at the end of the day, we're all Americans. We're all a group of people that have to live under the policies, ideas, and actions that our politicians take. At the very least, we could demand some honesty and transparency. Not people who are going to sway as soon as it benefits them monetarily and write a book about it. But it's just our lives in the balance. I don't know. Those are my thoughts. If you like the video, subscribe to me back here for the next conversation. If you have something to say, let the world know. This is the place for discourse. Until next time, peace.